practice social media in golden light. I call it Archangel Uriel, guardian of the north, Archangel Michael, guardian of the south, Archangel Gabriel, guardian of the west, and Archangel Raphael, guardian of the east. I'll just wait a couple minutes. So I will actually be on vacation for a couple weeks. So I figured I would do a really interesting story time tonight. Share my run-in with a skinwalker so that I can explain that energy to people, and so you can understand also what I constantly refer to as rank in spirit. And so these are important concepts to understand. So November 14th, which was a Sunday of 2021, I was contacted by a gentleman by the name of Blackfeather. And so it will be that story. I'll be sharing the story of Blackfeather, the skinwalker, and myself. So, to reiterate what we are as spirit, we are all at the DMV. We are all experiencing a spiritual journey playing human. So imagine it that we are all at the DMV. We are all here to renew our car registration. This is our registration in the human form. And literally that's what it's like. We're all at the DMV. So when I say rank in spirit, what I mean is there are people who have been in line longer than you. There have been people longer in line than me. But when I get to the window, I know that I'm going to be so prepared because I want to make sure that I keep the line moving. And so as you hold yourself accountable and you are responsible and you level up, it allows everyone behind you to also level up. That's rank in spirit. So I am not better than anyone. I am not less than anyone. But I have been in line for a really long time. So I am ahead of a whole lot of people. And so that's what I mean by rank in spirit. When you play human and you have human experiences, if you reach the fifth plane of existence or higher, you do not need to come back and play human again. I have also reached that plane of existence, but I chose to come back. I chose to come back because my purpose is very great in helping to raise the entire consciousness of Earth, to ring in the higher frequency experiences, to hold accountable those who are ready to embody the light and move forward in a higher frequency. That's why I'm here. So my purpose is great. Now on Sunday, November 14th, I received a private message on Facebook from a gentleman that I was not friends with, and his name was Blackfeather. It didn't have a last name, it just said Blackfeather. And the message was, healer, ? Druid or shaman? What are you? And that was the opening message. Normally, I would not entertain people messaging me that late at night, but it was just before midnight. So it was literally just before Monday the 15th. It was the very last minutes of Sunday the 14th, and I'm off on Mondays. Sundays are my days off. I actually allow myself off 3 days a week: Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And so I said, I've been called many things. So I'm everything and nothing. And so he right away answered me, Druid then. He said, because I see all lives, and I have memory of all things that you've been. And Gaia can also give me that wisdom. So I didn't respond to that after he had answered. I did not respond. And he said, so what would you need with me? And I said, I'm not quite sure I understand what you're saying. And so all of his messages were typed out and all of mine were voice. And so I said, I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. And he said, yes, you summoned me. And I said, I don't believe I did. And I said, I don't even know who you are. And he said, of course you do. And then he introduced himself as Blackfeather, Skinwalker. And so, just so you can be clear, Skinwalkers are neutral beings. They neither represent the light or the dark. They are neutral beings. They come into this experience and they are meant to be commandos, to keep order, to keep balance. And the thing is that because they don't reincarnate, they can very easily choose one side or the other out of anger, out of animosity, because what happens is they do not reincarnate. Their souls actually shatter into a million fractals, goes back to energy. And a lot of the skinwalkers are angry because of that. So they do tend to just be self-serving instead of divine servants, right? So that's the corruption of power. To be neither neutral because they're angry about it, they go and then abuse their positions. So that's why so many people are scared of skinwalkers, because they have that potential to betray. They have that potential to go either way. Either way. But they are meant to operate from a place of very high integrity and neutrality. So anyhow, when he introduced himself as a skinwalker, I was like, I don't believe I would summon a skinwalker. I have no business with you. And he says, but you did. So let's get to the bottom of this. Why don't you just call me and stop messing around? And he goes, or I can just wait for your blocks to be lifted. He goes, because I have all the time in the world. I don't need to do that. And so I'm just sitting there kind of, should I call him? Shouldn't I call him? It wasn't like, there was zero fear in me, okay? I was intrigued more than anything because the skinwalker, I had no idea who he was. And this has happened to me many times, as you'll see in story time, that people somehow track me down. And so it's almost like this, like I fall under the radar, a very specific energy. So that's part of also why I wanted to share these stories, that I don't experience the world the way most people do. and I don't have experiences that people do. So when I share these experiences, you can understand that it is because of my obedience to Spirit. It is because I hold myself accountable, and I operate from a different frequency of existence. That's why I have very specific experiences. So he gave me his phone number, and I said, you know what? Let me go to the bathroom, and sure, I'll call you. And so I did. I went, I emptied my bladder, and then I called the man, and it said Maine. So I don't know anybody from Maine, y'all. I'm from New York, but I don't know anyone from Maine. But the number was a Maine phone number. And so as soon as I called his number, he picked up right away, and he goes, you have balls. And my response was, bigger than most. And he said, I can't believe you called me. I said, why? You told me to. And he said, okay, fair enough. So now tell me why you summoned me. I said, like I said before, I don't believe I did. So, like I said, skinwalkers, because they operate from a place of neutrality, they are meant to operate and stay in that place of neutrality and keep things clean, keep balance, keep harmony. And I, as a transmuter of energy and also a walking portal conduit, I transmute that energy. So in a sense, we're kind of doing the same work, but I transmute that energy. He's more like a commando. He keeps the peace, right? And so ushering demonic energy back to lower planes of existence. If someone is abusing power, they hold them accountable. Like, this is what they're supposed to be doing, keeping the earth plane clean and balanced. That's their purpose. But like I said, because they don't get to reincarnate, they don't get to have that free will, really, because free will doesn't exist in the experience. It exists in the planning of the experience. And so since they have that removed, a lot of them are cranky, and they end up abusing their position, and they end up really being dark and doing really self-serving, corrupt things. Anyhow, I told him again, I don't believe I contacted you. And he says, well, you did. And he starts talking about his tribe, how he's a tribe of 73 deep, and that there was, this many other tribes that he was affiliated with, and I did summon him, that I called him. And I said, well, let's get to the bottom of this then. What exactly can you do for me? If I did summon you, what can you do for me? And he said, well, I could take you to the underworld. And I said, I've been there. Now, the underworld is a plane of existence. And is it a place with devils and pitchforks? No. Lower planes of existence are a lower frequency of being. And they do have tribes, and it's literally just like as above, so below. It's literally just like earth plane, but it is perpetual night, and they do have clans and clans of people, of beings, I guess I should say, beings. But it's not like brimstone and fire. It's not hell, like the proverbial hell, like some people say. That's not what the underworld is. I've been working with underworld energy since I was a little girl, because if I come across an energy up here, just like a skinwalker would do, I return it to its place of existence. I usher it back where it belongs. So even as a child, I knew that I could go there and come back unscathed. And it's just a dimension of existence, just like this, just like heaven, just like the other planes of existence, higher and lower. They're all right here. You're not really going anywhere. Anyhow, I said I've been there. And he said, so you've met the chiefs? And I was like, that would be valuable. No, I have not. So he says, well, come on then, sister, let's do this. Get yourself ready, let's do this. Now, we were approaching 1 a.m. at this point, conversing, which would be 3 a.m. in Maine, which, by the way, would be like optimal for Skinwalker to be the inviting party at 3 a.m. his time, when the veil is the thinnest. It's not the witching hour. It's not demonic. You know, some people are like, I wake up every morning at 3. Look up the horary clock of Chinese medicine and you'll know why you wake up every fucking day at 3. It's probably some kind of liver dysfunction. Anyhow, but 3 a.m. is when the veil is the thinnest. So for him, very effective. So anyhow, I agreed. And I said, all right, what do you want me to do? And he says, well, light an incense. And so the purpose of incense is a smoke screen. It's protective. And it shields you. So that's why incense, just so you know. And he goes, and you know what? Fuck it. Pour yourself a glass of wine, sister. This is probably going to be a while. And so I was like, you know what? I'll entertain him. But please beware that when you drink, if you are especially in communion where you're going to be crossing dimensions, it leaves you very vulnerable unless you know how to protect yourself. So you have to be very confident in your skills in shielding and clearing energies that are trying to cord into you, trying to infiltrate your energy field. You have to know what the fuck you're doing. And if you don't ever numb your wits with weed, alcohol, plant medicine. You just don't want to fucking do that. Okay? So, I went, emptied my bladder again, got some incense, and I have my sacred anointing oil. So I anointed myself. I came, sat back down, and I did have a glass of red wine. I'm going to drink my tea right now. And he said, "What is that smell?" And he's like, "Oh my God, so special. This isn't just, what is this?" And he said, "It's not frankincense." And I said, "No, but you're right, it's resin." And he goes, "What am I smelling?" And I said, "Copal." And he said, "Of course." Wow, okay. He goes, "I'm impressed." So just so y'all know, like, frankincense is very protective. Myrrh is not as protective. Copal is very protective. White sage, very protective. Probably the most dangerous aromatic to light if you try to use smoke is sweetgrass. Sweetgrass actually opens portals and it invites other dimensional beings into the space. So unless your space is shielded already by like white sage or one of those other resins, dragon's blood, I would not recommend you use sweetgrass. So many people use it because it smells good, and then they end up calling me to remove shit that doesn't belong in their space. And it's because they've been lighting sweetgrass. So anyhow, I had the copal lit. And then he says, now what else am I smelling? What is that? It smells floral. It's, so just so you know, I had already made the agreement that I would go with him. So he was already connected to me. Now, this is another thing about shielding yourself. You cannot be infiltrated, meaning possessed, okay? Or courted into unless you make an agreement. I made an agreement to accompany him. I made no agreements to allow him to come into my energy, but I did allow for the accompaniment. So I knew his gifts were strong enough that he was smelling exactly what I had. So he could smell my sacred anointing oil. And it is a floral base. It's got spikenard, but it also has frankincense, myrrh, many sacred oils. And so he's like, okay, all right. So now you tell me, what do you see? And I saw a bunch of animals. I saw a bear. I saw a lion. I also saw a rabbit, and I saw a fox. And so I just started naming those that I was seeing, and he says, okay, those are all my animal totems that I can shift into. And he said, I'm choosing one, and I saw the lion. He goes, okay, so hop on, you need to get on my back. So to test him, I ran my fingers the wrong way through his mane and then pulled it back towards me. And he did a very low growl and said, oh, you like that? So I knew we were already connected, he and I, and he was going to be taking me. And so he then said, I really haven't figured out what you are. He said, but I know you're not a witch. I know that. And I kind of chuckled. And he goes, like 99% of these people walking around calling themselves witches don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And I said, I know that. And he said, but even more who call themselves goddesses don't. And I said, I agree. And he said, but you are. And I was quiet. I didn't say anything. He says, you fucking are. You're the real deal. Holy shit. I'm taking a goddess to the underworld. So, what is a goddess? A goddess is someone who has not always been human and has reached a certain plane of existence or higher and is aware of that, carries the wisdom of universal law, and also carries the gifts of divinity, and is a divine teacher, is a divine healer. Anyhow, I felt that he simultaneously was in awe of who I was or who I am, and repulsed by me, which is what happens a lot, y'all, to be perfectly honest. When a man can actually see me, that always happens. So why is Sherry single? That's one of the biggest reasons. Because they're simultaneously in awe and fucking repulsed by me. And a lot of that has to do with just sharing space with me becomes an initiation. So anyhow, we were riding into the underworld, and he starts telling me, okay, just so you know, open field, is not safe. Tree line is safe. He's like explaining all of this to me. And I knew all this already, but I'm listening to him because I have been in the underworld, remember, but I was listening. I was being very attentive for anything. And he said, this first tribe that we're going to meet, please know that the chiefs are only going to speak to you, not to me. I am only accompanying you, but they will not speak to me. So you will have to dismount. You will walk up. You will meet the chief. The chief will have a very specific message just for you. You come back and we'll go to the next tribe. And I was like, okay, understood. So we start approaching the first tribe, and it is a tribe of witches, all female. And I became enraged, like overwhelmed and consumed by this anger. Like it was just this seething, nasty, fucking cesspool twisting of my innards. And I kind of grunted a little bit, and he goes, yeah, they're fucking gross, aren't they? And he says, yeah, lovely bunch of bitches. And he was like just talking with all of this venom too. And like I said, they're neutral beings, right? But the same thing that I felt, I'm just speaking what I'm feeling. There's no judgment to it, but I can feel all of it. And this is the kind of energy, I am not kidding you, when I am closing portals opened by messy ass people playing witch, that's the energy that comes up into the earth plane. When I'm closing a portal, it's that I feel. So how do you know a portal is open? Really dark things occur in that space. Violent crimes occur, recurring vehicular accidents within a tight geographical space, repeating violent crimes in a geographical space, and very dark shit. Suicides, suicide attempts, talking about it, really dark things. Anyhow, it's that energy. And he goes, yeah, just like mommy, right? Mommy's in the living room lighting candles, and then Junior, 6-year-old Junior's in his bedroom crying because there's demons crawling out from under his bed because his mom's a dumb bitch and doesn't know what the fuck she's doing, but she thinks she's doing spell work to make her boyfriend love her. Like, he just started spewing all this shit and just so full of venom himself, so angry. So I'm already feeling the rage, like the cesspool rage that's coming out of that tribe. And I could totally see how he was feeding off of that and his own rage and like spitting all of this venomous shit that he was talking about. The people up on the earth plane, like dabbling, right? Because I call them dabblers. It's true. Huge percentage of dabblers, especially now because the mass awakening is so expansive. Like, everybody's trying to fast track it, and it's just ugly. Like, dabbling in fucking microdosing and plant medicine and spell work and all this shit is just fucking messy. And I'm constantly closing portals, and it's ugly. I had a client call me from Colorado. I had to close a portal because one of her horses literally committed suicide. It just ran into the fence. That's dark shit. When you have animals who are higher vibrational beings, like committing suicide, it's just know that there's dark shit that's not okay. It's not fucking okay. So anyhow, he's talking like that. I dismount. I start walking up to her and the chief, and she, she was very generous, what we had talked about. And so he even said, you can't share this with anybody, not even me. And I was like, okay, that's understood. I understand those rules. I'm cool with it. And there was a level of reverence that even she offered me, and I offered that back to her. It didn't matter that she was in a lower plane of existence. Like I said, I'm above no one. I am beneath no one. I do know my rank in spirit, and obviously she fucking recognized that too, because I did receive the reverence that I am due. So she shared her message and got back on his back, and he's like, wow, that seemed pretty peaceful. And I said, it was. I'm grateful for that. Thank you. And he's like, okay. And he goes, so let's talk about you remote viewing. And like I said, when he was speaking to me, I could feel very deeply there was that he was in awe of me and very interested and riveted by who I am, what I know, but then also like repulsed by me. So I said, what do you mean? And he goes, yeah, you're remote viewing. You're not supposed to be doing that. And I said, look, I remote view with permission. So I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Let's be specific here. What are you talking about? And he goes, well, the closing of the portals. Let's talk about that. And so I said, you're right. I do that. And I said, and spirit brings that to me. I actually get an aerial view of the portal. Spirit brings that to me. I said, or my clients will specifically call me because they know I do that work. And I said, and I do have law enforcement that I work with specifically because they know. Like, I will literally get a call and say, hey, can you check this area and see if there's a portal open? Things are getting really dark over there. And I'll look, and sure enough, and I'll close it. Simple, right? And so then he said, but that's my job. So, now part of the venom reveals itself. And I said, look, I'm not trying to take your job, dude. I said, I'm just doing what I'm here to do. And he said, well, I spend all day, every day, day in, day out, cleaning up all the messy work of people opening portals and fucking around all these phonies. And he's like angry, right? And I said, I get it. And I said, and what is your reward? Because here's what I'm saying. This is why skinwalkers are dangerous, and why it's because they get fucking pissed. Why do they get pissed? Because there is no reward. There's no rest. They are meant to be specifically that commando, that perpetual servant, and they don't get to reincarnate. And so when his term is up, he will shatter into a million fractals, and they get fucking pissed. They're angry about it. And so I don't really know what kind of agreement they have, if they can save themselves, if they can come out of those contracts. I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm saying I don't know because I didn't have that conversation with him. I didn't even ask him. I will tell you that once you make an agreement to accompany a skinwalker, you have 48 hours. So I knew that he, specifically Blackfeather, had 48 hours to have access to me. So we went to we're on our way to the second tribe, and I'm going to take another sip. Enjoy the music. So we were on our way to the second tribe in the underworld, and he said, this one is really dangerous. It's really dangerous, goddess, because they fight and ask questions later. You know you can be injured in the ether. And I said, I'm fully aware of that. I know that already. And he said, okay, because I have been injured by this tribe. He said, they're very aggressive. The most aggressive tribe in the underworld. And that was the only tribe he actually said the name out loud to. And he said, it's the Blackfoot tribe. So I'm sharing the name with you. And he said this Blackfoot tribe is the worst of the worst. They're super aggressive. And so I said, okay. And he said, if they start shooting, just go for the tree line. And he goes, because I'm going to run too. And I said, okay, I get it. So we start approaching, and they were all lined up, and it's all male. So the first tribe that we had seen was all female. This tribe, all male energy. And they were all lined up, and he's like, wait a second, they're not shooting. And we start getting closer, and as we approach, they actually spread. They split open for us to come in. And he's like, what the fuck? And then he had this like maniacal giggle. Let's see if I can do it. No fucking way. That was pretty accurate. And he said, Sherry, who the fuck are you? I've never seen this tribe peaceful. Who the fuck are you? And I said, you acted like you fucking knew. You told me when you messaged me tonight on social media, you said, I know all lives. I see all. Gaia can tell me all lives. What are you, druid or shaman? I said, you said that shit. You said it. You said I summoned you. So what am I? You tell me. All I said to you was I'm everything and nothing. That's all I fucking said to you. That's all I said to you. And he said, no, who the fuck are you? I've never seen this tribe peaceful, and they're letting us in. But here was the valuable thing, and the most valuable thing about my whole experience with Blackfeather is there was a there was a man, a tribe member of the Blackfoot tribe that I had actually been with in past lives. And we did have soul contract. And right away I felt him, and he was not the chief. But I right away felt him and then saw him. I made eye contact with him, and I knew right away. And so I said, because someone here loves me. And he said, fucking of course. And I said, no, this is for balance. This makes so much sense. This is why you came. I bet you any amount of anything. It wasn't me who summoned you. Some other spirit or other realm summoned you to purposely bring me here for this, to see this. I had to see this. I had to experience this. You had to experience this. So I went up to the chief, just like I had with the first one, to get my message. And even feeling it right now, it's very emotional and poignant and important. And like I said, that was the most important thing that was happening. It didn't have anything to do with him. Blackfeather, I mean, the skinwalker, or the fact that I was in the underworld. It was specifically that. that I needed to be met with. And so I get back on his back and we leave, and I can tell like his agitation level is fucking on steroids. It's turned way the fuck up. He is so irritated with me at this point, like almost angry. Not dangerous though. Like I still didn't feel at all that he would betray me yet. And like I said, that's why people don't trust skinwalkers. That's why so many of like the natives of Earth Plane are like, they don't fuck with skinwalkers, because they are that neutral being and they can very easily flip the script. But if you are heart-centered, your discernment is so fucking keen, you will see that shit a mile before it even occurs. So we're going to the last tribe, and he's telling me, you know, this is another tribe of witches. They do have both male and female, but they usually have the females meet, come out in the front. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, but look, she's full of shit. This one is tricky. She'll try to just give you a short message and she won't give it all. He said, so just try to linger for a minute and there'll be more. There's always more with her. And I was like, okay, that's valuable. Thank you. And sure enough, it went just like he said. All females in the front line went up to the chief, and she did that. The message that she gave me, it was just really terse, really quick. And I said, and there's nothing else? And she kind of stepped back and very flippant, like eye rolls, everything, and then smirk, and then she leaned back in. So she did have more. And after I had gotten back on his back, he was to a level of being livid now. He was just so done with me because everything was going too smoothly. And I think it was just getting under his skin. He was so agitated with me. And so when you are also in the spirit realms, time moves really fast. It's like a blip. So like even the human experience, you can come and live 100 years in the human experience, but in the spirit realm, literally it's like sitting a hand out of poker, right? You're like, hey, I'm gonna go play human. Deal me out this hand. You come down, you play human. It's like, boom, like a blip, okay? So anyway, he's like, you know what? I'm done fucking around. Spirit tells me that I should take you to purgatory. Now, if you don't know what purgatory is dangerous. Purgatory is the space where you can't get out. It is the in-between. You do get stuck. And why would he want me in purgatory? Because I guarantee you, Spirit's not who told him to take me to purgatory. He wanted my ass in purgatory because that would be a huge motherfucking win. So whether he gets any kind of attaboy, or maybe he would receive some kind of accolade for getting me in purgatory. So I just got kind of quiet and I said, really? Spirit told you that? And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, then let's do it. And he goes, really? And I said, why not? I trust Spirit. And he got real quiet. He goes, oh, you trust me? And I said, I trust Spirit. I said it again. I trust Spirit. I trust Spirit. And I said, let me empty my bladder again. So when I went to empty my bladder, I also lit another copal incense. Because yes, my entire copal had burned down. So I was like, man, I wonder what time it is. I go to the bathroom, light another copal, looked at my phone, and it was nearly 6 a.m. Now remember, when we started, when I first went and lit the first copal and said we were going to be in the underworld, it was just before 1 a.m. Remember? Because it was 3 a.m. his time in Maine. So it was just before 6 a.m. my time. So that's 5 hours that we had already been together in human time. Spirit time felt, man, like a blip. It felt so quick. But I was like, okay. So while I was lighting the copal, I said to my spirit guide, Ramjal, I said, if this is in any way, shape, or form unsafe, you will find a way to end this. I trust you. I trust you. I went back, sat down, and he was on speaker, and he's like, are you ready? And I said, yes, I am. Next thing I knew, I woke up, and it was 11:49 a.m. Remember, I have off on Mondays. My back door to my bedroom is also the back door to my house, was wide open. And I kind of panicked because I was like, oh, fuck, what happened? So I looked at my phone. Call ended literally because when I got back on there and looked and I said, okay, yeah, I'm ready. I looked at the phone and it was like 6:12 a.m. Call ended 6:13 a.m. and there was a shit ton of missed calls. Like he was probably shitting himself because the call ended and he was pissed. But a shit ton of missed calls at 6:13 and then a shit ton of voicemails. Where are you at? Come on, let's have fun. Did you fall asleep on me? Where are you at? And then also on social media, a whole shit ton of messages, missed messages, 6:13. And I was like, yep. Spirit said, sleep, Sherry. So obviously not a safe experience because I had already said, I trust you. If this is not safe, you'll end it. You will find a way to end it, and I trust you. And that's exactly what happened. Now remember, they have access. So he, Blackfeather, had access for 48 hours. So the very next day was Monday, my day off, and he adds me to this joint message Facebook group. He private messages me and says, I've added you to a group. They're all druid witches, but they're all legit. And he said, so I'm going to introduce you to the group. So there were 5 other people. There was him, the 5 druid witches, and me, whom he introduced as a real life goddess, and the real deal, and that he hopes that we all get along. Not a single fucking one of them said hello to me. Not that I was looking for it, because honestly, I'm not a very social person, especially with people I don't fucking know. But so I'm in this group and I'm just observing, because obviously I was added to a party that was already in service, full on, already active. So all through the day, right, they're talking back and forth, having all these conversations. And then there's like this side conversation that's happening between one of the other females and him. And I'm just like watching, I'm like, huh. And then like literally he'll jump in and say, okay, I'm about to go in, send me energy. So he was soliciting energy from these druid witches, and then go. And so there were a couple especially that were constantly like, sending you energy, you got it. Like they were his biggest fans. And so I was like, I was starting to get agitated. I was like, this is literally a skinwalker has created himself a group of powerful females, and he is soliciting them for energy, and they're fucking falling for it, right? So I was like, this is interesting. So then he starts complaining about whoever he was with, that he had to go close a portal, starts complaining about that, and how he's tired of seeing that kind of energy because that child was harmed by the demonic energy that came into his room, and that if he has to see another suicide because mommy wants to play witch, like, and I fucking get it, man, because when I shut those portals, I have rage move through me too, because I'm like, I wish people would fucking pay attention to what they're doing. Like, there's no fast track, and it's not fun to pretend that you're this thing. Like, even when people say, oh, it's so cool to be witchy and let's do witchy things, I'm like, it kind of turns my stomach, you know, because I'm like, they don't even know what the fuck they're saying. But anyway, so I could get it, you know, he was angry about it, and I'm just like observing. And then one of the chicks was like, the one who's schmoozing him on the side starts talking, and I was like, I'm gonna say something. And I was like, you know, I'm just observing because I'm new here, but like, possibly the two of you should have like your own private message on the side, because a lot of this seems really personal. And then nothing. Now, I'm telling you, it was like nonstop notifications all day, and I'm like, dude, none of these motherfuckers work. Because yes, Monday is my day off, so I was also one of those motherfuckers, but I wasn't engaging with the conversation. And I'm like, how am I getting notifications literally like every other minute? What do these people do for a living, you know? So I was like, all right, whatever. There was one woman that I felt was like the real deal, man. And I liked her energy. I could feel it. She wasn't even buying into any of that. And I liked her energy a lot. By the way, she sent me a friend request after that, after I got cut off, and I'll explain how all that happened, because I pissed off the skinwalker. But anyhow, so I just said, maybe y'all should have your own private message, because I think we're all, you know, kind of third wheels here outside of your conversation. And I said, and I just find it interesting that there's a skinwalker with a whole group of powerful women, and all of you are giving him energy at his own whim. You know, like, he is soliciting you and you just give him energy. And I said, how does that work? Then they shut the fuck up. It was the first time that whole first day that I didn't get any notifications for hours. It was silent for hours. I'm not even kidding you. So nothing was said. And then finally that one chick that I liked, that I had been observing, that I was like, she's the real deal. I like her energy. She said, I agree with the new girl. And I was like, okay, all right. So I got her right. I pegged her right. She's feeling the same way I'm feeling. Okay, I get this. And she goes, I think that's right. I don't think you should be soliciting us for energy. I don't even know any of these people in this group. And I was like, whoa. So he's like hand selecting these women, adding them to his own little private group. And I was like, whoa, okay. And then he came and got angry because of that. So what I really felt is that he was feeling like he was losing the power that he was creating with this group of powerful women. No longer able to control them, because now there was this outsider that spoke up and said something. But anyway, so he said, okay, so yeah, I just want to use all of you women, and I'm just a whiner or something like that. I said, look, I didn't say any of that. I said, all I know is that you added me to this group of women that I don't know. Not a single one of them said hi to me. I was invited into this party that was already in session, and I don't understand the point of it. because you just keep coming in and out of the group like, okay, I need energy, and they all give it to you, and it's kind of like you've created your own little dream of Charlie's Angels, it feels like, and I'm not interested. Anyhow, I went away from the group, and because I have shit to do. But anyway, it was right about 12:30 at night again, which would now be Tuesday morning, early hours, which remember is 24 hours. So he is now halfway in to his deadline. But it's almost 3 a.m. again in Maine. So his optimal time. And he right away just starts blowing up private message and my phone texting. Let's go. It's playtime. It's go time. Come on. Don't go to sleep. Stay up. Come play with me. And I just ignored it. I went to sleep. I actually shielded myself and went to sleep. I wasn't fucking around. So now we're into Tuesday, the next day, and we're under 24 hours now. And so he was really going heavy in the group, like slandering me bad and saying, well, I don't even know what she is, if she's a witch or not. And I said, oh no, you don't remember what you said to me? You don't remember what you said? I never said I was anything. And I said, if I remember correct, I told you I'm everything and nothing. But I never said exactly what the fuck I was. You're the one who said it. I didn't say anything. And I said, I just feel like you're angry because you can't control this group anymore. But was that your intention to begin with? To control a group of powerful women because it would make you feel powerful? What? And he was getting so mad at me. So he says, well, okay, well then I'll show you how serious I am. I created this group for you, not for me. It's for you women to create a sisterhood. So I'm leaving. And he removed himself from the group. And then that one that was kissing his ass, she added him back. And she goes, look, I do have feelings for him. She goes, but I know I'm the only one out of the group that has actually met him in person. And blah, 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 whatever. Anyhow, I wasn't interested in that either. But I ended up getting removed and blocked, but then getting a friend request from that one, the one witch, which is pretty cool because she is the real deal. She's pretty cool old lady. She's been in the occult since she was a little girl, actually. And so she's from a long family line of druid witches. So it's pretty cool. And her and I have created a friendship. But he's completely gone. Blackfeather, the skinwalker. But didn't even try again that night. He knew he wasn't going to have access to me. But that was my experience with the skinwalker and trying to get me to go into purgatory. But like I said, the most valuable thing about that whole experience that happened in November of last year was meeting the Blackfoot tribe and also knowing that there was someone that I had a soul contract with in that tribe. Because that's real balance. The fact that love, which I always believed to be the true alchemy, can transmute any energy. It is the true alchemy. Love is the sorcerer's stone. There's nothing that's going to turn lead into gold, but love can transmute anything, even transmute or change matter. And so love pacified the most aggressive tribe. That's valuable to see in the underworld. That's hugely valuable to see for someone who spends her life transmuting energy with love. So it was very valuable for me to experience that and see it. So I am grateful for Blackfeather, as cranky as I made him in the end. And he's still going about his own damn business. I already know that. And believe me, ain't no skin off his teeth with me. He's got plenty of work still ahead of him. He's got plenty of work every damn day, just like all those skinwalkers have. If they don't get distracted, they could actually make very good difference in the earth plane. So that was my experience with a skinwalker. Are there any questions? See me for a couple weeks. I'm going to be in Mexico, flying out this weekend. So I probably won't be doing any lives or story time, but hopefully I'll post some videos and photographs because I'm going to go see the butterflies, go see Teotihuacan, Morelia, Mexico City, eat some bomb-ass chilerenos. So, thank you for sharing this time and space with me. Thank you for gifting me your most valuable commodity, your time. Oops, somebody wrote something. How do you know when you encounter a skinwalker in person? So, there's energy that I usually call stand-ins, okay? Because skinwalkers actually have a soul, but they're neutral, okay? So they don't have like all light embodying. They're not a higher frequency. So when you feel someone who is more spirit than human, you'll feel very high frequency. That's the high vibe. Man, they got good vibes, right? Those are the people that you want to be around. These skinwalkers, because they are on the fence, right? Because they are neutral beings, a lot of times they can feel really dense and turn your stomach. So they can feel almost the same way to someone who's not practiced in feeling that energy, like an earthbound energy, a ghost. It kind of turns your stomach a little bit. Demonic energy, you'll feel it trying to attack the heart, and it'll feel like a thud in the chest. Earthbound energy, ghosts, can kind of get you in the gut. It kind of turns your gut. It almost causes like this minute like nausea, and it's a denser energy. It feels heavy, almost like dragging dead weight. So they can feel almost like that earthbound energy, like ghosts. They kind of feel like that. They're more dense. So they have that energy. I love you, Mommy. It's my baby girl. I hope that helps, Guadalupe. It's just you'll know it because, first of all, they have no reason to come into your experience, honest to God, unless you're fucking around. So like if you're messing around, like doing spell work and candles and things like that, you're gonna fall under the radar of that because that's part of the commando work that they're meant to do, and you'll feel it. Christopher Walken, when he played that one character, god damn, what movie was that? Because that energy, man, he played that so good, because it really felt like skinwalker energy to me. And I was like, fucking Christopher Walken, man, he's an amazing actor, because he really like embodied the energy of it. It's like this, they're kind of stoic, but you can feel it. Okay, you know how con artists feel when you're walking the street, right? And the street vendors, and then they got the man who can do the sleight of hand that's really fucking good at it. And the con artist, and it kind of makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up a little bit, makes your stomach turn a little bit, and you're like, nah, I ain't fucking with that dude. That's a skinwalker energy. Your spidey sense is right away on high alert, like, I ain't fucking with that. That's you. That's the same kind of energy a skinwalker carries. Like, my spidey sense is on high. I think I'm just gonna say no. That's why most people don't fuck with them. I hope that helped. It was a good question, Amanda. I agree. Good job, Guadalupe. Guadalupe says that she has felt it in dreams. People I don't know sometimes appear and give me feelings. Now, you're probably not dreaming. You're probably astral traveling. If you're having like very lucid feels where you're feeling everything, and I talked about this on other story times, if everything is in full color, it makes sense in a timeline, like everything makes sense sequentially, like everything falls in order, and you feel everything, those are all the indicators that you're actually not dreaming, that you are actually astral traveling. You are actually in that dimension. You're actually experiencing something that's real. So you probably do that kind of transmuting energy when your human is sleeping. So you probably are closing portals in your sleep too, cleaning up all that fucking mess, because it is a mess. Good, Amanda. I'm glad that made sense. Do you get that, Guadalupe? If you wake up exhausted, Guadalupe, just tell Spirit, I want to stay in my body and sleep tonight. But yeah, you're probably doing that work in your sleep. Because dreams, like genuine dreams, jump all over the place. Sometimes they're in color, sometimes black and white. It jumps all over. It never makes sense in a timeline. Like 1 minute you'll be in a building, the next minute you'll be at Walmart, the next minute you'll be in school. It jumps all over the fucking place. Those are dreams. But when you're actually like, yeah, I met those things in my sleep, no, you're traveling. Amanda says she's felt those in dreams too. Yeah, so I'm not saying that you practice magic. I'm saying you probably clean it. You're probably doing that cleaning work in your sleep because you've done it in past lives. It's probably has been your path and purpose. You probably have the gifts to do that, to clean that, to transmute that messy energy, to close portals, to usher other beings back to the underworld where they belong, other people back where they belong when you have to close portals. So you probably have done that. Amanda says she wakes up feeling tired too and out of body. So you just set the intention before you sleep. Before you sleep, don't light sweetgrass. Light some sage and light something protective like the copal, frankincense. Palo Santo cleanses. It's not protective, but it's very grounding, so it'll keep you in your body. So if you set the intention with Palo Santo, then they will back you and keep you in your body so you can rest, especially if you need rest. Like, I am setting the intention that I don't do any spiritual work in my sleep tonight. Let my spirit stay in my body so that I am very well rested for tomorrow. And you'll stay in your body. You probably won't even dream. You'll sleep really hard. Erica too. Dang, all y'all busy at night. You know what I always say? I say your spirit is busiest when you sleep, when you don't own your gifts in your waking hours. So it sounds like a bunch of gifted women that aren't owning their gifts when they're awake. Because then you would be able to rest better. Just saying. You are very welcome, Guadalupe. Especially lately, yeah. There's a lot going on energetically. It's a really good idea to shield yourself when you sleep too. Like the Luna floor that I have, I dilute it with distilled water and I spray my bed down before I sleep. So I use it as a sheet spray and I really do. I sleep really well. Any other questions? Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Amanda. All right, y'all. I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you for sharing this time with me, this space with me, your energy with me, your most valuable commodity, your time and your energy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I am honored to share this time and space with you and commune deeply with my beautiful high frequency sisters. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And I would like to apologize for any misalignment that I may have caused. Please forgive me. And thank you for this opportunity to do that. I love you, I love you, I love you.